Welcome to New York's number 2 sports show. The New York Rangers lose 4-0, shut out by the Washington Capitals, and it is their first 2-game losing streak of the season. Their record drops to 18-6-1. And look, now you're starting to see bad results. The Rangers really weren't playing that well, even though they were winning games. And now it's coming back to bite them. And this was the first time that, they played poorly against Ottawa. And then tonight, another bad effort. I mean, I guess, was it better than the Senator game? Sure, I guess. But maybe in the sense of not giving up as many high danger chances, but still odd man rushes against. That led to at least one goal. And yeah, just not generating really much offense at all. Shesterkin, I thought, was, decent. Maybe a goal or two that he'd like to have back, but it was far beyond that. And so now the Rangers will head into a game tomorrow night versus the Los Angeles Kings with a lot on the line. As I'm recording this, the Kings are beating the Islanders 2-0 in the third period. If that score stands, if the Kings win, they will be 12-0 on the road. Which is really unheard of, and that will be on the line tomorrow night. Plus, Jonathan Quick, the longtime Los Angeles King goaltender, will be in net for the Rangers tomorrow night. So there's definitely some intrigue in that game. But as far as tonight's game goes, Rangers were losing 45 seconds into it and never really recovered. As far as the lineup was concerned, Barclay Goodrow was out. He left last game with that sort of friendly fire, getting hit in the face with the puck from Keandre Miller. Well, again, I don't think there's no reason to believe this is a long-term thing, but he was out, didn't make the trip to Washington. So Riley Nash made his Ranger debut. He was someone that was signed in the offseason. He's a veteran, hasn't played in the NHL the last couple of seasons, had for a while. And I think he's been playing pretty well in Hartford, so he centered the fourth line. There were no line changes, but the top six was not very good tonight at all. Like the Zibanejad line and the Trocheck line, I didn't think were very good. And right off the hop, it was the Zibanejad line with Kreider and Brodzinski and the Miller-Trouba pair that just allows an ugly, ugly goal. And if I haven't mentioned it yet, maybe I did it at the top, but if I didn't, Charlie Lindgren was the one who got the shutout for the Washington Capitals. So against brother Ryan Lindgren, Charlie, who really wasn't tested all that much. He made 31 saves. It was his first start against the Rangers. So the first matchup between the brothers, and Charlie comes out on top on this one. And Washington was just simply the better team. And this was Peter Laviolette's return to Washington. He had coached the last 3 seasons. He was the Washington Capitals coach the last 3 seasons. And Spencer Carberry, the new Capitals head coach, wins this battle. So 43 seconds into this game, the Capitals take the lead on a goal by Sonny Milano, his 4th goal of the season from Faravari and Carlson. This was an easy goal by Milano, who was wide open in front on a pass from Faravari. I think blame goes to just about everyone on the ice. I mean, it was just a lazy, sloppy first shift after the Rangers had a bad loss to the Senators on Tuesday night. My whole thing was, all right, reset. Just, you know what? I wasn't that hard on them last game. They didn't play well at all. No doubt about that. But you know what? Like, they've been winning games, and you know what? They're entitled to a stinker like that, and they followed it up with another garbage performance. So Washington makes it 1-0 there. Then things settled down. But then a really, really dumb penalty at the end of the period by Johnny Brodzinski, who, a few games ago was he was showing, maybe he can stick with the NHL club. And obviously, with there being injuries and things like that, he may stay with the Rangers regardless of how he even does. But a really bad holding penalty with 19 seconds left in the first against Tom Wilson. Now, this penalty goes into the second period, and it appeared as if it would be killed off. And in fact, it actually was technically killed off. But right after it expired, 2 seconds after it expires, Anthony Mantha scores his 6th goal of the season from Kuznetsov and Sandin. And the Rangers have had a problem with this lately, where they'll have a good penalty kill, and then either at the end of the power play, or in this case, right after the power play ends, they give up a goal. They got to tighten that up. And Kuznetsov had a lot of room, and Mantha kind of found some space, and Mantha tips it in right in front of Shesterkin. Nothing Igor could do about those first two goals. And again, a lot of the same players as to that first goal were involved. Brodzinski was on for the first goal and took a bad penalty here. And then you had Kreider, Zibanejad, Miller, and Trouba on the ice for this goal. So 2-0 Capitals there. And then soon thereafter at 5:35, Tom Wilson scores his 9th goal of the season unassisted. This was another classic odd man rush against the Rangers, where Panarin was trying to make a play in the offensive zone. Keandre Miller isn't able to corral the puck. And then Trocheck's trying to get back. It's a 2-on-1, and Wilson just rips it past Shesterkin. This one, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle on my thoughts in terms of whether Igor. I'm not going to crush Igor on this one. It was a good shot by Wilson and a bad job by the Rangers. Because like I said, that was like my main theme last episode against Ottawa was you cannot allow the odd man rushes, and that's exactly what happened. So that makes it 3-0. Then at 11:52, the Capitals make it 4-0. Nick Aube-Kubel scores his 2nd goal of the season from Malenstein. So 4-0 Capitals. This was a play where Gustafsson, it was an unlucky bounce, but it was a Gustafsson turnover behind the net. Eric Gustafsson played with the Washington Capitals last season, and Aube-Kubel scores past Igor. This goal I didn't like by Igor. Even though Aube-Kubel was in the slot, there was no screen, like he saw it dead on. Aube-Kubel is not some sort of sniper. That was one that kind of frustrated me as far as Igor was concerned. And for Shesterkin, what I'll say about his season to this point, it hasn't been great. The best thing that he's done is like in the big moments and spots, he's come through when they've needed him. But he really, and I think he'd be the first to admit, it's not been a great beginning for Shesterkin. I mean, luckily for the Rangers, Jonathan Quick, who has struggled lately, but Jonathan Quick and even Louis Domingue that one game have really delivered. And that has helped the Rangers quite a bit. So, yeah, as far as the defense is concerned, like literally the defenseman, I feel like Adam Fox has not been himself since returning from the injury. It doesn't feel the same. I'm not sure how other fans feel, but it just hasn't been vintage Adam Fox. But to be honest with you, that might have been their best pair of the night. I didn't love Miller Trouba. I didn't love Gustafsson Schneider. I thought that they had their struggles. So comparatively speaking, they were kind of, I guess, okay. But still, just no offensive juice to speak of for the Rangers. And they would get their one power play at 15:27. Sandin holds Panarin. So maybe a chance to get things going. There was some opportunities, but ultimately Rangers don't score. That was their one power play opportunity. So the score is 4-0 Caps going to the third, and not a very inspired third period by the Rangers. I know you're down by a lot. It was a long shot to come back, but just didn't look all that good. At 3:22, you get a situation between Jimmy Vesey and Nick Aube-Kubel, where Aube-Kubel hits Vesey. He didn't like the hit, and then he goes after Aube-Kubel. So there's a fight between those two, and Vesey is called for unsportsmanlike conduct. So the Capitals get a power play. Rangers kill that off. Then at 11:44, Trocheck high sticks Nick Jensen, and that penalty is killed off as well. Again, not a whole lot to speak of the rest of the way. Chances here and there, and Charlie Lindgren ends up getting the shutout, and the Caps win 4-0. So very disappointing for the Rangers. It'll be very interesting to see how they respond tomorrow night. Again, as I'm recording this right now, the Kings-Islanders score is now 2-1. So Kings are up 2-1 about halfway through the third period. And Cam Talbotson, former Ranger Cam Talbot, who's had a very good season as a net for the Kings. I'm wondering, will he get the back-to-back starts tomorrow night, or will the Rangers potentially catch a break, on paper at least, and face Phoenix Copley? That's probably more likely than not, but we'll see. And again, like the Jonathan Quick storyline is an interesting one, more so from a Kings fan's perspective, but still, the fact that the Kings are one of the hottest teams in the league and very good on the road, whether they pull out the win tonight versus Islanders or not, this is a team that knows how to win away from home. So That'll be a very interesting game tomorrow night. The Rangers, this is their first multi-game losing streak of the season, and you want to just nip it right there and not let this turn into something else. So, again, a disappointing showing for the Rangers in D.C. They lose to the Capitals by a score of 4-0. They are shut out as they head home to take on the Los Angeles Kings tomorrow night.